gamers, and welcome to episode 332 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for June 12th, 2021. I'm one of your co-hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
It is a cool weekend. We got a cool weekend happening here, Dan. Starting Friday, man.
Yeah.
Going from hot to actually weather I enjoy. The 70s and 60s. So like, yes. Well, summer ain't officially here yet. So I guess it's still okay to get this weather. And plus it's good when it's cool like this or raining because we don't have to hear these cicadas.
Yeah.
When that happens. But yeah, but it's getting a little sun out here now, and I'm hearing them. So I'm guessing they're like, yeah, we finally can go out and do our fucking. But it's, yeah. So let's get right down to it. Ain't really much for me to say about sports. I mean, second round has started for the NBA, and I'm just so ecstatic because I don't have to. There's no LeBron James, even though they're still trying to insert him. I still see some. What is it called? Space Jam commercials.
Yeah. They should really just have him do commentary on every game.
Yeah. Oh, but Tom Brady. Oh, goddamn Tom Brady. So, Tom Brady, apparently he had something, he had surgery on his knee, I think.
Oh, really?
Apparently he was playing with a bad knee all last season. So I guess it just makes that season just so much bigger. Like, oh, he was playing a bad knee and still won a Super Bowl. But they didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait a minute. You're supposed to tell your injury in the injury reports.
Right.
But if people say, like, oh, he probably did it because he want people to know about the injury so they know they can go after him. But that's the rule. So I don't know. I'm thinking, like, what the... He's going to get away with it, probably.
He twisted his ankle on that boat holding that trophy. That's all.
Yeah, because he said, yeah, I had it back in April, but I just going to deal with it. And then I figured I'd just get the surgery this time. So now it's like the story, oh, man, he's playing with a bad leg and he won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He threw for this many yards and blah, blah, blah. It's like, come on, man, this is bullshit. It's like, come on, we don't need... You won a Super Bowl.
Isn't
it's
that
like,
enough?
You don't need any more.
Old man still got it. Isn't that enough?
I know they're playing some golf tournament. Well, not really a tournament, but like him and Aaron Rodgers are playing with two great golfers. I know one is Phil Mickelson and the other one is Watson, I believe. Is it Bubba Watson?
Oh, okay.
No, not Bubba Watson. That's the damn car driver, isn't
it? Wallace or something. There's a Bubba in golf, though. He's the one that used to drive that freaking like aircraft or whatever, the hovercraft.
Yeah, I remember that guy. Yeah,
over the bunkers.
I forget. It's another good golfer though. That's on Aaron Rodgers' team.
Gotcha.
So they're playing against each other, and I still don't know if Aaron Rodgers is even playing NFL next season.
I was going to say, who would have thought if those two were playing golf, and you said one of them is retired right now? It would be Aaron Rodgers.
It might be exactly not Tom Brady, the 50-year-old, but Aaron Rodgers.
He really 50.
So okay, so let's get right into what we've been watching. So I'll start it off.
All right,
because everything else you watched too. I mean, everything you have watched technically, but I didn't watch it last week. So because you told me how you like Cruella, so I said I'll check it out. And you know what? I liked it too, Daniel.
Nice.
It was a nice movie. What do you mean nice?
Nice. I'm glad you enjoyed it because I told you I thought you might enjoy it. Because I was really dreading you coming back and being like, that movie was trash. What the fuck are you telling me?
Yeah. Well, I lied. Yeah, it is trash. And I don't know why you even like it. But no, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was a cool twist they had in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking are they going to do a sequel, Daniel, with a new 101 Dalmatians? With I can barely hear you, man. Maybe I got my thing up.
Sorry, maybe
low.
I was just not on the mic as much. I was pointed down a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know if they would do like Dalmatians being the focus, but I could definitely see them doing another Cruella movie.
Oh, okay. But I just want to know, how does she still... I know why she hates Dalmatians, but to go from wanting to kill them and make coats...
So that's the thing, like, that's what I was waiting for by the end of this movie, right, is to, like, get that moment. Because Can we just talk spoilers?
Yeah. Go
okay.
ahead.
Spoilers, everyone, for Cruella. But, like, the absurdity of the moment at the beginning of the movie where they basically have Dalmatians kill her mother. Like, I was like, okay, this is where we're going. Maybe I'm on board with this because that was just fucking absurd. But then it doesn't go in that direction. Like, even when you think she may have killed the whatever her name is dog or dogs and turned him into a jacket, that was kind of a, subversion of that. And oh no, she just used fake Dalmatian or whatever it was to make the coat. So I don't know that they'll even go in that direction. Because for me, it was the same thing. It's like, I know what 101 Dalmatians is. I know who that character is in those movies. And, how do we get to her being that person who's going to just kill these dogs? And I don't know if they go that route with this series.
They probably don't. It's probably a different route they'll go with the dogs. Because she gave those dogs to people who, are from the original movies. And like Pongo and I forgot what the girl dog
Perdita
name is. She gave them to their owners. She gave them as a gift. And so I'm thinking, like, why would she give them as a gift and then ends up like, hey, now I'm going to kill Dalmatians? That's a weird, be a weird way the story goes if that happens.
Yeah.
Oh, you cut out on me.
Sorry, I purposefully did that because she was crying. I had turned my mic off and then wanted to at least say I was still here. Trying to avoid all of this extra whininess that I need to remove.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. But the movie overall, it was fun. It was fun. I love the her henchmen guys. Mm-hmm. And they were funny. I remember the big guy. He played a part in the Nancy Kerrigan movie that came out
a few
years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the guy that thought of the plan to hurt Nancy Kerrigan. I mean, not Nancy Kerrigan, but
Tanya Harding.
Tanya Harding. No,
it was Nancy Kerrigan that got hurt.
Yeah,
it was
hurt
Tanya.
Nancy Kerrigan, but Tanya Harding. It's the Tanya Harding story.
The I, Tanya movie.
Yeah, So, yeah, he was the crazy guy who was he was thinking all this government stuff, and he ain't know shit, and like he spilled the beans real quick when he got caught.
Of course.
But yeah, he you can just see like that's the kind of guy he is, but in this movie he is funny. The dogs were funny too, and you can see how, hey, now the computer animation stuff, they don't have to do dog tricks for everything for real dogs. They just add it, but you know what? It works. It works. It doesn't look like I notice it, but it doesn't hurt it for me.
Yeah.
I'm
now in like 10 years we're gonna be like, oh my god, this looks like trash.
Yeah,
but right
Jar
now
Jar
it looks
Binks.
pretty good.
Like
exactly.
Jar Jar Binks even looks trash now. It's not even like, because that was at least one thing about Star Wars. Like I used to say, like, Jar Jar Binks is not a good character, but he looks good with those people. But then after years later, it's like, man, this don't look that good. With them. And when I look at Golem, it still looks kind of good, but I can see it.
Yeah.
It's just like, darn, and this was the best at the time. But we gotten better, because you can look at Guardians of the Galaxy. You see that a lot of those movies. So, and with the Hulk, with the Avengers, all those movies. So yeah, you see it's a lot better now. As time goes on, things get better. Or if you could tell movies go cheap, put it like that. But yeah, the movie was good. I was surprised that I would like this. I really thought I was gonna find like something that really just turned me off, and I was looking for it. I was looking for it to turn me off from this movie. If I could say it's garbage, but nope, couldn't find it, and I did like it. I did enjoy myself. All right, so there's another movie I finished watching. And you watched too, because I told you to check it out. Console Wars. Yeah. Which is a documentary on the battle between Genesis and Nintendo. Basically Genesis, not just Sega. It's basically Sega, but it really starts with the Genesis coming to be. and how they competed with Nintendo over in Americas.
Yeah.
It really starts at how Sega, like, started with Sega America becoming a thing, and how they went to publicize this new console to make it so that kids or teenagers and adults would get it over Nintendo. So what they really branded it is what caught my eye as a kid, like this is the fast system. Like Nintendo's all slow and it's old. And because Genesis came out when Nintendo was still a thing. Super Nintendo hadn't come out yet.
Yeah.
So Genesis was shown that way. Now, I didn't get Genesis until Sonic came out. So I didn't get it till after Super Nintendo came out. And it didn't really catch on totally. Like, Altered Beast was the pack-in game. And they didn't want to do a pack-in game either. They were like, we're going to give a free game? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And it's going to be cheaper? It's going to be cheaper? What the hell are you doing? But they went with it, and it helped. It helped them because, like, look, you're new to the marketplace. And Nintendo is the freaking monopoly of the gaming industry.
Yeah.
Definitely in America. So you had to do something. Now, the early games wasn't really doing it for them. It really sparked it. Because I didn't even think about Genesis at all. I was still playing my brother's Nintendo. Mm-hmm. But when they got Sonic, that's what got my eye. And then the commercials, showing like Sonic Extreme, and then the attitude. Mm-hmm. It made you feel like it was a game for older kids. And it was a cool game. So when my parents asked me for my birthday, I think it's my 7th birthday. I know it was Chuck E. Cheese. A birthday party. When they asked me before, like saying, it was my 7th or 8th birthday. I think it was in 2nd grade. I think it was or I was in first going, I forget. Yeah, I think I was in 2nd grade. I forget. But it was, I was like, I wanted Genesis. And I want Genesis because I said, look, man, Sonic, man, he looks cool and everything. He said, you sure you don't want Nintendo? I said, nah. Because Mario, I played Mario games on my brother's Nintendo. It's like, I wanted something different. That's my own. It's my own thing. New system. Sonic seems like he's the badass dude.
Yeah, he's a rude dude with attitude.
Yeah, and I got that. And, like, he was fast and everything. I love playing that game. I had that. And then my brother had gotten games from his friend, who I ended up just keeping those games anyway because he never came back for them. So Altered Beast, I had Altered Beast. I used to love playing that. And I had that baseball game I keep mentioning. I forget the name. It's one of the first baseball games that came on Genesis. Man, he was a former baseball player and he was a manager. But I had his baseball game that couldn't have real goddamn baseball names because they couldn't get the license. Or they didn't want to pay for it. Probably that.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the games I had, and I loved it. And then Genesis, I was just on them. I was into the console war thing, saying like, yeah, Genesis is better. Like Nintendo, all they got is Super Mario World. I mean, that's a fun game, but man, compared to Sonic, hell no. And then when Sonic 2 came out, I was like, shucks, man, you got Tails, you got a guy who can fly, even though you can't really fly with him, but I can see him fly. And now it's co-op too. I can play with people, 2 players.
Yeah.
Then you had, the Mortal Kombat thing was the big thing. Mm-hmm. When I heard like, oh, Nintendo got blood in it, but the Sega does. But actually, I remember you had to put the code in and get the blood.
Yeah.
So, but thing is, everybody got the code.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's the thing. It wasn't hard that you couldn't get the code. But my parents still wouldn't get the game for me. I had to borrow that game from my friend across the alley, which it took a long time for me to borrow the game because, I mean, that's the most popular game. So, for him to let me hold it was like, yeah, you can hold it for this weekend or something, or this day, and then you got to give it back to me. I said, yeah, I got you. And, yeah, I played the hell out of that game. Loved it. Yeah, I used to always say brag to my friends, even like whoever had a Super Nintendo, say, man, whatever, you got that fake Mortal Kombat. and then I said, we got the better Street Fighter. Our Street Fighter's faster than yours. I played that Street Fighter on Nintendo, Super Nintendo. I was like, man, this is slow compared to Street Fighter on Sega Genesis. Hell no, I got the best one. It wasn't until Donkey Kong was where I was jealous. Yeah. I was really jelly. And I was like, damn, look at Donkey Kong. I was like, when are we going to get our Donkey Kong? And then I think Sonic 3D ended up coming later, and that was horrible. I was like, oh, this game is not no Donkey Kong. Oh, God, this is not it. I mean, we had Sonic 3. Sonic 3 was awesome, but it was short compared to Sonic 2. The only good thing about Sonic 3 is that it actually had saves which I was that, and that was the only Sonic game I beat because of saves. I could save. Sonic 2 was long, but you couldn't save.
Yeah.
But eventually I got the cheat codes. We go to like every level and stuff, so that's how I figured how to do that. But that was a problem. Like, these were games back in the day where you had to beat them all in one run. I mean, I was like, that's the only thing I liked about Super Mario was that, hey, at least you can save, man. Darn, I gotta play Sonic. I mean, Sonic was nowhere near as long as Super Mario.
Yeah.
But still, playing in one sitting sometimes, I have to leave the game on pause and hope nothing happens. Like, it won't just freeze on me or anything, or power go out, or somebody turn my game off. Yeah. But this is all my personal stuff. But the documentary itself, it really touches on just the Genesis and the Nintendo / Super Nintendo. Mm-hmm. Like, I like where they showed that, okay, Genesis said we got to get a mascot. They got Sonic. Then the Super Nintendo came out, so it's like, oh man, what Super Nintendo got? And they looked at it. It's like, is this it? Like, they weren't that scared.
This isn't 16-bit graphics. This is like 14.
Yeah, like I think it's 12. It's like 12-bit. 12-bit. And I guess Mario did look good, but Sonic, the speed of Sonic and the colors were vibrant.
Yeah.
It was just, and that's what caught my eye. And that's what caught a lot of kids' eyes too. So they was like, hey, it didn't really hurt them that much with Super Nintendo coming out. Because that could have been probably a killer. Like, darn, Sega just got out the ground and then Super Nintendo just destroys them. Yeah. But it didn't. And then the whole Mortal Kombat thing really lifted them up. Because that's what they used that against Sega. Yeah, I mean, Nintendo. Like, hey. Like, Nintendo's trying to be like, oh, they thought they were doing a good thing. Say, hey, this is a kid's thing. Like, that's what they're saying.
Which is so funny because it still has the animation of blood in there. It's just green instead of red.
It's just green.
As if, like, that's the thing.
But that's the thing, Daniel. I wanted red blood because I know what blood is. There ain't no green slime, like Nickelodeon slime. So it was fun. Yeah, because that's how Nintendo was. Nintendo, and like we always talk about through all the generations, they appeal to the kids. Mm-hmm. So Sega's like, we're going to appeal to the teenagers. We're going to show like we're streaming stuff. See, and as a kid, I want to be older. So I'm going to go with the thing that makes you feel like, hey, I'm a cool guy. I can be with teenagers too. I'm just because of my age. Yeah, so I'm going to go with that. And that's what I felt. I felt like that was the cool thing. Now, in retrospect, if that was an older dude, or like probably this age I am now, or even a little younger, probably in my 20s, I probably would have gone with Nintendo because I would have saw like, oh, they got RPGs and things of that nature that are not on the Sega Genesis. I don't know many RPGs on Sega Genesis, honestly.
Yeah. Like Phantasy Star, maybe?
Yeah, I wasn't really into that. I'm not even into that now. So,
right.
Like Squaresoft at the time. I didn't even know about Squaresoft then. I didn't know about Final Fantasy. I didn't know about Chrono Trigger, or even the other ones, Breath of Fire, the Capcom game. Mm-hmm. I would have liked them now. I like them now. So I probably would have went with Nintendo, but I'm 7, 8, 9 to 10 years old. Probably 11 too, because whatever the N64 came out, that's when I went to that. I wasn't reading, I wasn't going to be reading these games. Like, RPGs was not going to be a thing 7, 8, 9, or 10-year-old me would care about playing. Yeah. Like, that wasn't the games I was into. It had to be action. It had to be something to get my kid mind. Like, you have ADHD at that time, at those ages, man. Like, you're just... Once these things were flashing colors and getting extreme and things of that nature to keep me awake. Yeah, I wasn't going to be playing those games. So Sega was definitely for the kid in me. And, but yeah, the documentary goes to that, and it goes to the fall of it. It goes to how it felt like Sega Japan was almost felt like they
caused the downfall. Absolutely. It's all their fault.
They felt like Sega of America was having too much control, or they didn't have enough control as they wanted, because Sega America's making a lot of decisions, but they helped Sega get to a high point, and I guess they wanted to have some of that control back, like to make some of the decisions. So some of the decisions they wouldn't go with on Sega's side. I think it was a point where Sony even went to Sega, which both of us said we didn't know that even happened.
Yeah.
They went to Nintendo, but they didn't even talk about that in the documentary about Sony going to Nintendo. They just talk about how Sony went to Sega, so you had to look it up and said it actually happened after.
Yeah, it sounds like it happened after the stuff fell through with Nintendo.
Yeah, okay. All right, so they had a chance to pick up Sony. So Sega actually had a chance to get Sony before the PlayStation, a partnership, really, but they didn't.
And it seems like another thing of like control, right? Because it sounded like, oh, well, Sega of Japan wasn't happy with the hardware that Sony was presenting, basically. Because they were saying, like, we're a game maker. Like, we would make money off the games, whereas Sony, I guess, would probably take whatever profits from the actual hardware business. And it sounded like they didn't like that idea.
Yeah, and it's fortunate or unfortunate how you look at it. And so they did a Sega Saturn, and the Sega Saturn, man, that was like they was gonna try to do what they did, the day and date thing.
Yeah,
like when they announced it and sold it. But man, look at the Sega Saturn and the technology and stuff. Excuse me, it was so behind what the PlayStation did, and it cost more.
Yeah. It's basically like the joke about the Wii, right? Of like it being two GameCubes glued together. The Saturn was basically like two Genesis glued together.
But yeah, it wasn't really real 32-bit. It was like two 16-bit things. Yeah, because that's what they did. Yeah.
Yeah, because they just added another processor is what they said on there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they just added another one. Yeah. And it just made it, and that was basically the start of the end. But they didn't go into the Dreamcast. They didn't go into the Dreamcast.
Wonder if that's because, like, it's based on the book Console Wars, which I had started reading years and years ago. And it kind of focuses on the story of Tom Kalinske, who's the guy that kind of came in as the head of Sega of America. They brought him in from, like, Mattel or something like that, wherever he was working on Barbie.
He worked on, I think that was the last job he did before he went to Sega. But he's also worked on Flintstone vitamins. He got them. So that's why we want to eat Flintstone vitamins, man. Because of that.
I mean, that's the success of Sega of America, right? It's just their marketing absolutely killed it. I mean, that's what sold you on Sonic, and that's why, like, they're kind of not downfall, but one of the things that started to hurt them was when Nintendo started to do that a little more with their like Play It Loud campaign. Yeah, because I definitely remember that stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that being around the time that Donkey Kong Country came out. And that's another thing that they touch on in this documentary. And it seems like a kind of a trend is like Sega will talk to this one company, because Tom Kalinske was talking about, oh yeah, I talked to these people and they were like, these, pre-rendered 3D graphics and everything, we could do this. And then Japan's like, no, we're not going to do that. And then they go and team up with Nintendo and they make Donkey Kong Country. And it's like all these missteps. Like it's always, hey, I talked to these guys and Japan said no. So they went over to Nintendo, right? Like it's sad how different things could have been for Sega if maybe Sega of America could have had a little more autonomy and did their own thing or been at the table, basically. They were there, but they didn't really get heard. It sounded like those initial discussions of, hey, we brought on Tom, because they described that first meeting where he's talking to, I can't remember the head of Sega at the time's name, but like he's like getting red and fuming and, kicks over the chair. But then in the end, he's like, okay, I'm going to let you do this. We flew all the way to Hawaii to find you and your family on vacation to bring you on. So we're going to let you have this chance. But it almost seems like that was the one and only chance that they gave him, despite the fact that he succeeded exceedingly after being given that opportunity, right? That's what brought them up.
Exactly.
So, it's so crazy.
Like him, and then they brought the guy, what's his name? The guy who helped them decide on Sonic.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember his name. But
yeah, he was I like him. He was a cool nerd. Yeah, it's good. And yeah, I mean, they definitely helped. Also, like that woman, she said how she was in the Sonic costume, and how some the little kids will hug her, but the older kids want to do high fives and bump her and stuff like that. Like they wanted more attitude, and that's really and that's what say, hey, we're going to appeal to the older kids, you know. It was a good documentary. It was a fun because it was really nostalgia for me. That's what it was. It was like a lot of nostalgia. And then it's like, man, this is why I really went to Sega. The marketing was so great. I mean, but the games were fun. Yeah. Not to say like, oh man, these were shitty games.
No, because it wouldn't have worked if they just had completely shitty games, right?
No.
Like marketing isn't going to, bail you out of that. Once people touch it and they go, oh, this is trash. Word of mouth is going to override that marketing.
Because look at the Game Gear. I mean, the Game Gear, it was a great system. But I mean, except for the battery life, but it was a great system. It's just, it had some games. It had some games, but it's just like, it didn't last, as long as you probably wanted, or they didn't really approve upon it. I guess maybe they didn't see the money, to do that, because I felt like if they would at least approved upon the battery life and make it a little smaller, they would have done it. But the size and the battery life, but it was cool because the games were all right that I played. The Sonic games I played up there.
Mortal Kombat was on there.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat. Yeah, I didn't. Those are only two games I think I played too, Daniel. I'm not mentioning that.
Yeah, I think those are the only two I played, but I didn't have one. I was playing my sister's boyfriend's at the time. It's like, here, sit next to the wall so you can plug in the wall wart and just sit there and play while we're hanging out.
So, it was a lot of nostalgia with this Console Wars, and it was a really fun documentary. Like, I want another documentary similar to this with the other consoles, or at least another timeline, like maybe a little like, hey, this is about the PlayStation and Saturn N64, or
especially like the run up to the PlayStation, like having it be the Nintendo PlayStation, and then hearing about these talks about, them going to Sega about it, and then moving on from there, launching their own thing, and seeing the acceptance of that brand and kind of the downfall of the Sega Saturn and stuff. I think that would really be cool.
All right. You anything else you want to say about this?
Yeah, I enjoyed it overall. I think it was a little general in its kind of presentation, much in a way like the Toys That Made Us did. So a lot of it I kind of knew, but there were some fun facts in there that I didn't. And it really makes me want to go back and finish that book, or, start over that book at this point. Because the characters involved, like the actual people that were involved in this story, all seem very interesting, and I'd like to see something more in depth about that. Like, honestly, if this had been like a 4-episode miniseries or something like that, I think it would have been really cool. I know the original talk of this, because it was like executive produced by Seth Rogen. I think the original idea for it was that it was going to be like a fictionalized depiction of it, kind of like they did that Rockstar thing with Harry Potter years ago.
Okay.
And then I guess it just kind of got turned into a documentary once they realized maybe that wasn't the direction to go with it. But yeah, I mean, this stuff is cool. Games history is really neat to delve into, especially from this era, because it's me looking back on it, like you said, with nostalgia and going like, oh, but that's what was. Now that I'm an adult, I can look at it as like what was going on behind the scenes. And you've got these adults like telling each other to fuck off, right? Because, they're in the Senate, and he's like, well, we put green blood in because there are Satanists over there at Sega.
And then he brought out the gun. He said, hey, Nintendo has this gun. I can't say. Yeah. And so he's like, don't act like they're all wholesome. They ain't all wholesome or something like that. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
You know what? You mentioned that Rockstar Harry Potter. I had to think, like, what the fuck are you talking about? That movie with the Harry Potter actor was in there about Rockstar.
Daniel Radcliffe.
I totally forgot about that movie. Did you ever watch it?
No, because it came out originally on the BBC, and then I assume it got over to America in some way, shape, or form, but I never really heard about it much after that, and I don't recall it being particularly great. Like, I think it was fine, but I don't know that anybody was really praising it, so I didn't go out of my way to find it.
Oh, okay. So I guess now we'll talk about Loki. So what you think about Loki? You can go ahead and talk about it. And spoilers. Well, first take if you like it or not.
I like this first episode. It sets things up. It's very much kind of a world building, because this is the Loki from Avengers. It's not the Loki that's kind of grown as a character and maybe become more of a anti-hero, less of a just complete villain. This is the guy that literally just tried to, destroy New York with an alien army. And they fast track that stuff a little bit, obviously, and for obvious reasons. You're not gonna, make him slowly change into that character over this series, because it seems like they've got plenty of other things that they kind of need to figure out. But I think so far it's a really cool premise. I think maybe I know more about where it's going, or at least think I do, because of stuff that I've watched about it. So I'm apprehensive about going too far into what I think I know about it, but so far I enjoy it. It's a nice mix of a little bit of lighthearted. I mean, it's a Marvel thing, right? Like it's got the lightheartedness, but it also, does some serious stuff. They do a pretty good balance with that. So I enjoyed the first episode. What'd you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. It was fun. And, it's not slow, but it's not a lot of, like, a ton of action either, but it's enough. Yeah. I mean, it's enough to really entice you to know, like, to watch, it was really world building, really. And I think that was good that it was like an hour or something long. Maybe all the episodes will be, I don't know, because Disney is not really, they don't really have a set amount of time on these shows.
Yeah.
A lot.
And I'm not sure how many episodes this one's going to be either.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. And the characters in here seem like they'll be a joy to watch. So I guess we get down to spoilers. So you say you think because you watched a lot. What do you mean? Like what,
just
behind
like
the scenes
dissection videos and rumors and things of that nature, kind of videos.
Okay. So is it just Loki? Is it just Loki being a bad guy? Is this himself?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's part of that. Like, they said at the end, we're trying to bring you on to hunt a variant of you, but it sounds like that variant may be the female Loki, because there's a character, or there's an actress in there that they haven't really talked about what her role is. So that hooded figure at the end who sets fire to the time people, the time cops, the TVA agents. Yeah. It sounds like maybe that may be her. So it'll be kind of Loki hunting down Loki. But there's also kind of the overall thing with the Time Variance Agency in Ant-Man. They've already announced the Quantumania that Kang the Conqueror is going to be in there. And he's very much a time-related villain who can kind of be the next Thanos in a way, because of how epic his villainy is, I guess. And his story is weird, because if you look him up, like, he's been different characters and stuff in one comic. I think Franklin Richards, who is Reed Richards' son, becomes Kang the Conqueror after, like, going forward in time and then back in time, or back in... it's all very weird, but I'm very intrigued to see what they do with all the time aspects of this and Quantumania, especially because they've kind of established a time weirdness with Avengers that they kind of don't address and also address, because they just kind of flick it away like, oh yeah, that Avengers thing, that was supposed to happen, that's why we didn't come after them. It's like, yeah. But what about, like, Steve going back in time and then just chilling there back in time with his new wife Peggy or something? Shouldn't that have, put them on the radar? And the moment that I don't think hit for me quite in the way that it did for some of the people that I listened to, like the Infinity Gems being in the dude's, like, desk, like, oh yeah, we've got a ton of these. And Loki just, like, at that moment realizing, oh shit, they are extremely powerful, because the Infinity Stones that are, like, the most powerful thing in the universe that I know are just paperweights here.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought, like, oh, those are fake Infinity Stones at first. And then once he came to that, realized that, like, once he's like, oh, shit, you guys are really powerful, then I was like, oh, okay, I guess those were real things. They just don't matter here because magic doesn't matter. Like, when he tried using the Tesseract, I guess, is when I realized that. Like, oh, yeah, they don't have power here because you can't do magic and you can't do whatever space gems do. I guess sort of magic. So, yeah, it seems like it's going a lot of places. Like the DB Cooper stuff that they did, that was fun, I guess, but it seems like a completely silly aside.
I don't know who DB Cooper is.
So DB Cooper is like this legendary thing where a guy hijacked a plane in, I think it was flying out of Seattle. I forget what year it was. But basically, he held the plane for ransom. He said he had a bomb. I think they landed and gave him a whole bunch of ransom money. And then he went back up because he was going to fly to someplace. And then basically, he jumped out of the plane with the money and disappeared. And no one knows who that person was. There was actually, I don't remember if I talked about it on here, but I think it was on HBO Max. There was a documentary that was talking about it, and there were like 3 different people there. They were like, oh yeah, like my uncle, I'm pretty sure was DB Cooper, or my neighbor who was actually transgender and was now a woman, but I believe was DB Cooper because back in the day he had flown for like the Air Force or something like that, so he would know how to do all this. And then, you know, I don't know, there was like a picture that she presented, you know, when she admitted to being DB Cooper. It's just this crazy mystery. So in the trailers, they had Loki dressed up as him with, you know, the sunglasses and everything. It's not really dressed up as him. It's just Loki with sunglasses and a suit. But they teased that was going to be a part of it. And they kind of did that whole thing, but it was just basically a throwaway thing, just as, oh yeah, Loki's, you know, mischievous, like trying to get him back to more that. This is a series that very much in like the Disney Cruella way or Maleficent feels like it's going, okay, we're going to take this villainous character and try and make them not as much of a villain, even more so than we did in the mainline movies, right? Like we're gonna try and get him to verbatim explain that he doesn't necessarily like killing people. It's just part of his show. And, you know, he really is the god of mischief. He's not the god of murder, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. Anything spoilery for you that stood out?
Nah, I think you pretty much cleared it up. Yeah, I can't think of anything else to say about it. But it's at least it's something else for me to watch. It's something I look to see to enjoy. So far, like Disney Plus has been hitting with their exclusive. I mean, I don't watch all their exclusive because I don't watch High School Musical or
right.
some of the baby stuff they got up there.
Let me tell you about Bluey, Dominic.
Yeah,
Australian dog.
I ain't gonna lie. I did watch 2 episodes of Bluey.
Oh yeah, what did you think of Bluey?
I was just, it's a very nice, wholesome baby show.
It is very
cute.
much baby. Like his voice even is kind of, you know,
Yeah.
babyish in that way. We also watched the like Patchwork. I can't remember her name, but she's like the son she's the daughter of a doctor, and then she's the doctor for her toys. I think that's a show that used to come on like Disney Kids or something.
Oh, she'd be like a gynecologist. Hey, let me look at your vagina.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
That's nice.
Just open that doll right up, Dominic.
Their exclusives have been pretty good. So for the ones I've watched, they've been pretty good. Put it like that, because I haven't watched Mighty Ducks. I don't plan on to though. It's just
my wife added it to her like watch list the other day, and I was like, "Oh, are you interested in watching that?" Because I'm not sure that I am, but if she had it on, I would probably sit there and check it out with her just to see what's going on with it. I was more a Mighty Ducks cartoon person than I ever was, like, the actual
They only
movies.
had like one season, so I don't know how the hell you were a Mighty Ducks cartoon person.
Because it was on, and it was a cartoon, Dominic, so I was all about it.
All right, so I guess we get into what we've been playing. So you can go ahead.
Yeah. I've just been playing more Kaze and the Wild Masks. I'm at the end of World 4 now, I think. I was trying to fight the boss last night, but I was getting tired, and in this one, because it seems like each of the bosses so far, you kind of utilize one of the masks. Like the last one was like the falcon or eagle mask or whatever, the bird mask. And you're like fighting this tomato guy, and you're trying to fight the winds, because there's winds too, and you're just, moving about the stage.
If you just fight a farmer at the end. Like the evil farmer.
He's an evil farmer scientist. He's a geneticist. He's like works for Monsanto or something like that. Yeah, so this one you're a tiger, and I don't know what vegetable you're fighting, but you're fighting some vegetable. Maybe like peas or something, because there's like it's this weird thing with a mouth, but they're always tied together in like threes. I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
Or it might be like an onion riding peas. It's very weird. But it is definitely getting increasingly difficult now. Like every stage I die at least a couple of times, whether it be like a mistimed jump or just like a misplaced enemy or something like that. Absolutely. But so far it's been really good. It jumps back in quickly enough that I'm like, okay, I'm going to make it further this time. Okay, I'm going to make it further this time. And I also really enjoy the fact that they allow you for like the bonus stages where you're trying to get like the halves of the green gems. They just allow you to retry those immediately. You don't have to go back through the level again and try and get each one of those in a run. It's just like, okay, we'll let you try this secret stage basically again. So something like that I really enjoy, because like Donkey Kong Country, you're running around on the ostrich or something, and you fall into one of the pits, and it's just like, it's over. And you're like, oh man, I wanted to listen to more of that music because it's so good. Yeah, but I don't know if they have more masks. I hope they do. So far I've done the tiger one, the like dragony one, which is the one that's kind of an auto runner thing.
Oh, okay.
And the bird and the shark. I think that's it so far. But so far, yeah, I'm really enjoying it still. It's getting more difficult, but it's not insurmountable yet. Hopefully it won't be. And having like the dragon mask where it's kind of a runner type thing almost feels Sonic-y. And it's neat that they kind of switch up that variety a little bit. And because honestly, my one complaint about the game is it's a little slow because there's not a run button. So it feels very slow when you're just moving around, but then feels a little too fast. Like when you do not the dash thing, but the spin thing, like the attack, which I just don't find myself doing very often because it almost feels like I'm losing control there.
Well, I don't think rabbits are known to be fast, Daniel. So that's why there is a running
that's
button.
what it is.
You see, the tortoise beat the rabbit.
That's what
That's
I've
why he
heard.
beat him.
So, yeah, still playing that game, still enjoying it. Just, that's kind of been it this week, though. So what have you been playing, Dominic?
All right, so I've been playing some more Assassin's Creed. Actually got to a part where I was talking to the sage, or whatever they call them in the Norse times.
Okay.
Like, she gave me these potions or something, and I drank it, and I went to a dream state, and then I woke up as Odin. I was, Javier, I think his name is. Okay. Like how they say it. But yeah, you still look the same, but you're just Odin, and that's like a whole other campaign in there. It's like you're in Asgard, your own world. I start off with going across the Bifrost Bridge, and the ice trolls, whatever they are, they were fighting. I had to close the door, and I was like, hey, Loki was supposed to guard this. So I was like, why Loki was a guardman? But Loki said that, oh no, and somehow they opened the door, and I came to help. I came to ask for help. So something's going on behind that. So But yeah, that's pretty cool that they have that in there. And the city looks nice. I like how it looks. But you can that's a whole other campaign, so you can go back and forth with that to do those missions and this. So I'm like, man, this game is too big. And so
that's what I was hearing, because people were talking about like the DLC that just came out, and they're saying like it's a 110-hour game basically for just the base stuff. And that's probably including collectibles and stuff, but still, that's just so much time.
I mean, I thought the other one was long, and they had a ton of DLC for that, and I didn't even touch it. It's like, Darren, I don't need more game for this. It's like, this game is long.
Yeah.
So now I am getting alliance from this one group who have a king, but he's barely a king. Like, they're barely a kingdom, basically, because every time someone really takes control, they get killed. Like, this other group kills them. So I come there to help them before they can become an alliance with us. Mm-hmm. So right now I'm helping these guys, excuse me, out. And they're a mix of Anglo-Saxons and Danes.
Oh, okay.
So Danes are the Norsemen, basically, and Anglo-Saxon are Anglo-Saxons. That's all I know. They're to me, they're just a bunch of white people. That's all I got to say. One white people, they believe in God. The other white people believe in multiple gods. That's just what it is for me. But yeah. I'm enjoying the game. It's just so much game that like I'm at to the point where like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna go straight to the story or like the big quest. I'm going to big quests. If something's right next to me, I'll go pick it up or try it out. Mm-hmm. But if it's not, I'm not gonna go out of my way because this is gonna take forever. It's gonna take a lot of my time, and I want to play other games. And I do enjoy the game, but I'm just not gonna do a whole bunch of the side quests. And also I did pick up I got the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which I don't know when I'm gonna start. Probably after I finish Dragon Quest. I will start, like, between these two games, like, the next two games I'll probably been playing is Yakuza Like a Dragon and Mass Effect. So, let me go right into Dragon Quest. I did finish the main story. I just finished Awakening, which is the big DLC that came for it, the expansion. The big expansion that came for the game. So, now I got these two little expansions to do. I call them DLCs because they're not that big. And then I'm done. And going to that Awakening was a good expansion. It's probably one of the first really good big expansions for console games. Mm-hmm. But you could still, could use some improvement. It was still felt like, I wouldn't call it rushed, but it just didn't have, like, a lot of the dialogue seemed like, the dialogue felt like it was rushed though. Like, I feel like you didn't really develop a good relationship with these new characters like you did in the original game. And because it's a shorter game, I guess. But yeah, because sometimes I'll be talking and they'll be talking like, hey, we've been through a lot together. It's like, we only fought like one battle together. We ain't been through a lot together. What are you talking about? And like I said, yeah, I'm real close to you. Like, yeah, you're a good friend. I said, Jesus Christ, we just met. What are you talking about? Why are we just friends? And yeah, so it really condenses too much that you don't, like, some of these people I wish I could have known more about or done more with, but the story, yeah, you realize after doing some of the side quests in this game, or if you don't do the side quests, man, it's actually pretty short. But it was okay. I mean, it deals with the events happening after the main game. You're still the same character. Okay. Or I guess if your character died in the original, I guess you will be a new warden. I don't know how that would work, honestly. I don't know how would it be if your character died. Would it just be a different warden? I think I did look it up at one point, but I don't remember. So I am going to a warden's keep. We're taking the land of an old Arl who was like a trader. So we're taking his land and we're going to build a new headquarters there. Mm. And which is and really I'm like the new Arl really for that whole area because the city that's there is I had to make decisions on that, and some decisions are really crucial to the land, and I really wish they would have went really huge on that. Like, it doesn't go too big because, like, if you can choose to really protect the city or the farms, and at that point, I think you have to fight the dog spawn. You have to choose: do you want to save your keep or save wherever you didn't protect that much. Like which was the city for me, because I protected the farms. I was like, the city has its walls, it has its guard. The farmers really don't. So I sent my soldiers there. Now, the thing is, my Warden's Keep was getting attacked too. But see, if you build up like your, if you build up your walls, like if you got some material to build up your walls stronger, that will help with it. So that's what I did. It helped a bit. I mean, you still lost people if you didn't stay with them, but hey, it would have been a lot worse. It would have been a lot worse, basically. So they do have some hard decisions to make, and I made a different decision than I made the first time. Like, I had a choice, because the Darkspawn, one of the Darkspawn became aware, basically. Like, it could talk on his own and think on his own without the need of an archdemon. So they do the reverse of what we do. We have to drink Darkspawn blood so we can kill the archdemon and to sense Darkspawn. They have to drink Warden's blood, Grey Warden's blood, so they can become smarter and more aware.
Crazy.
So, and thing is, that's what this guy does, and he gives it to other Darkspawn, and they don't want to fight us. They said, we don't want to be controlled by the archdemons that come every 100 years or so, or whatever they find one. Like, that's what keeps calling to us to do that. We don't want to do that. So they was helping us fight these other Darkspawn, who he did help create, really, but they went mad when they drank it. So like how sometimes when we drink Darkspawn blood, you die. You might die. You might don't live to become like a Grey Warden. That Darkspawn blood might be too much for your body and it kills you. It's a chance you take. But for them, they go mad and crazy. And that's what happened. That's these other Darkspawn. So they said I had a choice to help them fight these other Darkspawn or just kill them both. The first time I helped them and let them free. This time I'm thinking different. I'm thinking like, well, you're going to keep trying. You help still create maybe crazy Darkspawn. And you need Grey Warden blood. Like, y'all don't have, this world doesn't have the technology just to take blood, like how you give blood at a blood bank. We don't have that kind of technology now. That means people have to die, possibly, or give too much blood, and they turn to, I think they end up turning like to a state of like Darkspawn, like they become inflicted. Which, I mean, they're not evil, but they're just not the same no more. And I'm like, you know what? Nah, I'll just kill you both. And that's what I did. So I was like, well, yeah, the Darkspawn will still keep fighting every so often. A blight still happens. But I was like, I'd rather have that happen. At least it's be so long before another one, because they can find an archdemon real quick. If they're smart, and if he can't control them, then like it's just gonna be this all over again. So that's what I chose. But yeah, that's Dragon Age. So that's what I'm playing. Play a little bit of Hyrule Warriors. Not really much more to say on that, really, until I beat it, probably. And I play a new game this week. It was Before Your Eyes. Have you heard this game?
I don't. It sounds familiar, but nothing comes to mind.
It's a game that uses your camera.
Oh, okay, like I have. Where it advances the story while you, if you blink or something?
When you blink. Yeah, when you blink.
Oh,
when you blink, the story continues. So it's really like it's not really point and click, I wouldn't say, but it's more like an interactive story. And it's like, I guess you died, and now you're just reliving your life. So you could miss some points if you blink too fast, but it's a little cheat, though. Like, I still blink, but I just don't. I have to be dramatic with my blinking. So sometimes I just do soft blinks.
Close your eyes slowly and open them.
But yeah, it's cool. And it looks like it's going to be a VR game, really. And like the way it is, the movement, I was like, this could be VR. I mean, I don't know if it is or not. I'm not sure. But yeah, you just use your camera on your PC, and that's how you do. Like it'll have an indicator on the bottom, like, hey, if you blink now, the story will move. And there's other places where you click and then you blink and you see things. And it's really wholesome. Like, you see yourself as a baby. Then now I'm thinking I'm like that as a kid, like in elementary school probably, or middle school. or something, and I'm friends with this girl next door. She just moved and something like that. And I play the piano really well, and I also like to draw. And it's like you're just going through life, basically, your whole life. So that's going to be interesting. I know there's going to be some very sad moments. It's going to be some very sad moments. I know that's going to happen. Because I do end up dead.
Experience does it sound like it seem like it is?
Say that again?
Like, how long have you played it so far?
So far, like I said, I only play up to probably middle school. I think I'm in.
Oh, I mean, like time-wise. I'm just trying to get like a gauge of like how long the game might be,
Maybe 30 minutes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Like between 20 and 30 minutes. I recorded it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But yeah, it's cool. I don't know how long the game is. I couldn't imagine it being too long.
Yeah, it sounds maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours at most or something.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a nice little game. It seemed fun. I just heard about it because of a podcast, and I forgot where, because that's where I heard somebody say, I'm playing some Before Your Eyes, cool game. And I said, let me look what this game is.
Yeah, I heard some streamers talking about it, and it seems like a really cool concept.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. All right, so I guess we take a quick break. Where we get back, we get to the flashback segment.
All right.
And we're back. Let's get to the flashback segment. All right, so we're flashing back 10 years to 2011. And you know what? If I make a mistake and say 15 years when I meant 25 years, my fault. Because I keep doing that every time I do 1996. But, yeah. All right, starting with 10 years, 2011, we got some 3DS games. We got 3D classics, Excitebike. So Excitebike on the 3DS, I'm guessing this is one of those Wear games, well, they're like those downloadable games or whatever. Or
yeah, I want to say that's what it was, but they made it like 3D, like they added 3D to the original game.
Yeah. And Excitebike was like an extreme bike game that came on Nintendo, like Dirt Bike, and you jump on hills.
Side-scrolly guy, and you run up mountains and whatnot. Try not to crash. Trials before Trials was Trials, Dominic.
Yeah, exactly. Then they had Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion. I guess this is like a fighting game with Cartoon Network characters.
Like the idea that it's like a boxing game. Like, why would you make that?
I don't know. But yeah, that came out. Also, I mean, it came on everything, so including 3DS. Green Lantern Rise of the Manhunters, in time for the Green Lantern movie that came out 10 years ago with Ryan Reynolds. The best Green Lantern movie to come in theaters. Yeah, I have to say.
Also the only one, but that's the joke.
Yeah. Yeah. So it came out on PS3, Xbox 360, Wii, Nintendo DS, and 3DS. I'm not sure if there was a side scroll on the DS or 3DS. I'm not sure, but I know it was an 3D action game on the others. Or was it like a shooter? Maybe behind a back shooter. Like,
I think it was like an action game. Like you could create your, I forget what they call them, but the green things, they could create them, and it was kind of like almost God of War or something like that.
Oh, okay. Also, I'll save this one because this is the big one. I go ahead. Operation Flashpoint Red River is one of those shooter games. Like, I guess, realistic military shooter games. I never really played. Have you ever played any of them?
I don't think so. Maybe there was a demo for one of them on the Xbox 360 at a time or something, but never the full game, no.
Yeah, Windows 360 and PS3. And now, what should have been a big game, this should have been a huge game to come out 10 years ago. Red Faction Armageddon. Yeah. The sequel to Red Faction Guerrilla. I was so waiting for this because I love that game. Red Faction Guerrilla is like one of my favorite games at that time on that generation. And so I was like, yes, Armageddon is here. It says it's a little more. It's not really open world. It's more concise, but you still got the destructibility. So I was like, it's open world, but okay, it might be still a good game. Just a little more constraint there, I guess. But no, it wasn't a lot of destructibility, especially compared to Guerrilla. It just didn't have that sandbox feel. Yeah. I mean, because it wasn't a sandbox, but it was boring. Like, I mean, I think I borrowed this game. I borrowed this game from GameFly, and I did not enjoy the game. I was like, this is not Red Faction Guerrilla. Like, Red Faction Guerrilla, what I imagined the sequel, Red Faction Guerrilla, was that Mars was terraformed. Like, you actually got some forests or jungles or something, because it was becoming that in Guerrilla.
Right.
Like, some places were, like, a little bit, had a little forest area, like you see grass or something, but not everywhere. And I was thinking, like, okay, this is going to be in the future, and where it was. And I think it was, but there's something went wrong, some aliens or something came or something, they had to go underground. It's like, I basically want an open world with, like, actual, like, taller buildings and more of a civilization, you know, there, and doing destructibility. But they weren't cheap. They were cheaper. See, I feel like they went cheaper with this one. And because now you're just underground, so you're in dark, dank tunnels. And so it's like, destructibility is not really there as much. It's like there's a few things that you can destroy, but it's just not the same. It just didn't bring nothing really new to the table, to the genre, like Guerrilla did. And yeah, it was a disappointment. I think it got like 7s. I don't know, maybe it got an 8. Let me look up here. Yeah, 75 on PC, 71 on PS3, 71 on 360. I see a 8.5 by the official Xbox magazine, so they were paid off. GameSpot was paid off because they gave it an 8. And Game Revolution, wherever that is, they gave it a B+.
Also paid off.
Yeah. So, yeah, everybody else is like a 7. Yeah, and that's the reason why I borrowed it. I didn't buy it because I saw the reviews. And I was like, oh, this isn't good. As good as I thought. What the hell happened? All right. So what else came out? And here's a big game. I know you like this definitely a lot more than I did. Infamous 2. So tell me about Infamous 2, Daniel.
So Infamous 2, obviously sequel to Infamous 1, where you were Cole something or other, and you were in the middle of this catastrophe, and you got superpowers, and made by the guys who made Sly Cooper, so the game very much felt like that in your movement, so you would like stick to poles and stuff like that as you climbed around. Very parkour-y, but also with the addition of powers, you got to a point where you could almost fly. It was mostly like hovering and stuff. But 2, they added like the good, bad, basically Mass Effect renegade system to it. It was very much like, if you do this and you save these people, you're going to get lighter powers. And if you do this and you kill those people, you're going to get red powers. And there was a woman for each side in the game that was trying to like motivate you to go towards one direction or another. This one took place in like, I want to say like a Louisiana equivalent city, like somewhere in the South like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. And then when they kind of, they did the DLC for that one too, and did the vampire stuff where at that point you were just flying around the map and whatnot. It's weird because it's definitely not, and maybe it kind of falls into the same place that Sly did. I just wasn't really around for like the peak of those games, but it felt very much like this isn't quite Sony's top tier property, but it's up there. It's like, if Uncharted is A+, this is like A or B++ kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked it. Both times I played through this game, I stopped at the same point. I stopped at the part when you chose a side. Because this is a good chunk of game before you get to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I get there, and then I'm like, I played a lot of this game. I'm going to take a break, and then I just didn't come back. And then when the second time I came back, I chose the other side. Then I chose the red side this time. And then I stopped. And something, I don't know what happened, something came through, and I just didn't finish it.
Yeah.
And I finished the first one 2 times at least, like one bad and one good. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and yeah, I did. This is something I did. I mean, I did like the game. I did really enjoy it. I liked the environment too. The whole Louisiana, it seemed like it was either New Orleans or like Baton Rouge or whatever. You know, got that feel of it. You got those swamps, the swamp area and things of that nature. Got the above ground cemeteries, and like it was neat seeing that. But yeah, I just could never complete it. But it was a good game. It was a fun game, and I never did play the sequel on the PS4. I know you did.
The Second Son, yeah. I'm trying to think. I don't think I beat it, though, and I never really went into... Or maybe I did beat it, but I just never played the Second Light or Last Light or whatever the DLC add-on thing was. I didn't spend much time with that. And that's one of those things where I'd like to really go back to at some point if I make the time to.
All right. You know what? We're not even finished with 2011. I don't know why. I was hoping to leave that for last, but I didn't. Yeah.
Now we can talk about trash.
So now we got... No, we're not going to mention this game. Not going to mention this game. Not going to mention that game.
We can talk
this
about
one.
Zookeeper.
The last... Zookeeper, is that based off the movie?
Zookeeper is... Well, this is the iOS release of it. It says... But I played that game on the DS because it came out at a time where there weren't many games on the DS. Yeah. There wasn't... It came out on the DS at a time where like there wasn't much on the DS, so I bought it, and it was a fun puzzle game. It's kind of one of those where you like move the pieces around to line them up type things where the board's full. Not quite like a Tetris thing, but one of those other like Bejeweled kind of games, and it's all like animal faces. So it was cute. It was all right.
All right. Yeah, the big re-release, We Play Motion. I forgot. I honestly, I don't remember this game. I don't remember. I probably was not working in electronic section when this game
that's
came
the
out,
one
so
that
that's why I
came
never
out
saw
with
it.
like the... No, that wasn't the one.
It came with the Remotion Plus controller.
Is it... It's not the first one to come with it, though, is it?
No.
Okay.
No, it's the first one came with the regular Wii controller. It was just Wii Play. This is called Wii Play Motion.
Because I was thinking that came with the Wii Play Motion. I was thinking that came with like Wii Sports Resort or something like that first.
I mean, I think there was other games that came with the Wii Motion Plus or the attachment. But
that's what it was. Wii Sports Resort came with the attachment, and then this is the one that came with it built into the controller. Built in.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't remember this at all because I don't think I ever put it up, and I never really saw this. So, like, when I saw this, I was like, what's Replay Motion? And I was like, oh, I guess it makes sense. And I sold like 1.7 million, I think, within like a year or a little less than a year, but still a drop in the bucket compared to Replay, where Replay sold.
And that's probably just because people wanted to buy a controller, because if I recall, like, that's the only reason I wanted this game was to get that controller, but I never did, because I was like, I got the Wii Motion Plus add-on thingy. That's fine. And I'm an adult, so my hand's bigger anyway, so the extended thing actually kind of feels better in my hand, you know?
Yeah. All right, so that is it for 2011. So now we're going back 20 years to 2001, and this is the launch of the Game Boy Advance. Yeah. So there's a lot of Game Boy Advance games that came out. That purple system. So the first of the purple systems until the GameCube comes out. So we have Castlevania Circle of the Moon.
So good.
Choo Choo Rocket.
Yeah.
Oh no, Castlevania Circle of the Moon. You want to talk about that?
I mean, it was kind of their return to the Symphony of the Night style Metroid version of that game. And outside of it sucking to play that game on a Game Boy Advance because it was an extremely dark game on a non-backlit screen, so it was kind of hard to see at times, it was awesome gameplay wise. So
how was this out June 8th and then the other ones came out June 11th? Was this like the only... I mean, this gotta be... I
honestly wouldn't be surprised if it like weirdly came out before the system did. Like, I honestly want to say that was a thing that happened. A Sunday. We can find out.
June 11th was, and that came out on a Tuesday, or well, that would be what, a Thursday?
The 8th was a Friday, and the 11th was a Monday.
Oh.
That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Maybe these dates probably wrong, but it was this week.
Yeah.
No, let's just say that. So Choo Choo Rocket came out on the Game Boy Advance too. What was that game?
That's the one that came out on a Dreamcast first, I think, where you're like a cat chasing mice or mice chasing a cat or something like that. Or mice trying to avoid a cat on a puzzle.
I remember seeing it.
Yeah.
Also, Earthworm Jim came on the Game Boy Advance. I think this is just the original one. Is this original one, or this was like a new version?
Yeah, just a re-release of the original.
So you have F-Zero Maximum Velocity for Game Boy Advance. Konami Crazy Racers for Game Boy Advance.
Better than Mario Kart.
Rayman Advance for Game Boy Advance.
Which I think was just like one of the 2D ones.
Yeah. And then Super Mario Advance, which, what was that? Was Super Mario World?
That was not Super Mario World. It was Super Mario, I want to say it was Super Mario 2.
2? Oh, man, it was even that one.
Or was it 1? Yes, it was Super Mario 2. Like, such a weird launch title, right?
Yeah.
Like, for the thing, because especially the Game Boy Advance thing was, hey, here's a handheld console that's finally got the power of a Super Nintendo. And then they release Super Mario World 2.
And that's how they do it. These are called the Advance, and they numbered them.
Yeah.
Look, Super Mario Advance 4 was Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah.
I mean, this is so weird how they did that.
Yeah, they did get to World eventually, but it took a while. It was kind of disappointing, too.
Yeah, and well, that was 2.
Oh, it was just 2? Okay. Oh, they didn't take that long then, I guess. Yeah,
it was weird how they did that. Nintendo's weird. They are weird.
Yes,
but yeah, those games came out. Also, let me see another Game Boy Advance. Fire Pro Wrestling came out.
Oh, cool.
And I think that got rated pretty good for the Game Boy Advance.
I believe it. I just never got into those. Like, those were too intense for me, I think.
Also, like, the Game Boy Advance debut selling 1 million units in 6 weeks.
Mine was one of them, Dominic. My mother was nice enough to go out and pick that thing up for me.
Oh, that's nice.
Actually, on Monday actually makes sense because, she like stopped after work at like Game Crazy or something, I want to say. I probably didn't deserve it.
All right. Let me see here. You got Disney Atlantis, The Lost Empire came out for the PlayStation.
Oh, boy.
In time for the movie.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm skipping that. Half-Life Blue Shift came out for the Windows. Well, PC, basically. That's the only thing is on.
Half-Life Blue Lives Matter. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's where you play as a security guard, you said.
I think so, yeah.
You have Pong, The Next Level for Macintosh came out. I guess like the Super Pong or whatever. I don't know. And Star Trek Deep Space Nine Dominion Wars came out.
There used to be so many Star Wars games. Or Star Trek games.
Star Trek, yeah. Now, how dare you? Don't you ever put that name with that franchise. This is better. Star Trek is better. But, yeah. Dominion, I don't know if this is like the space shooter. I'm going to assume it's a space shooter. This is space shooter.
That sounds right. PC version? Yeah, definitely.
And the big game that came out that, man, my favorite arcade NBA game to this day is NBA Street. Well, Street 2 I think I like the best.
Yeah.
But the franchise started this week. NBA Street came on PlayStation 2. My friend got it, and he told me, like, man, this game is awesome. I remember going to his house, because he bought it. I went over to his house to play it. Because, we went to the GameStop or Funko. I don't know what it was called. I think it was called GameStop. Then we went to his house, watched him play it. I played it like I was playing on a team against him, and on teams with him too. I was like, damn, this game is awesome. I said, this is better than NBA Jam. I was like, you're talking about the look of the game. I like that art style, like SSX. Then how you do crossovers. The controls were great. And then how you do dunks. I mean, it was just incredible. Like, you could do dumps, and you could do, like, multiple alley-oops, like, get somebody, your man, to jump up. You jump up, then you throw it to the next person, then you throw it to the next person, and do it. Oh, my God. I mean, the game was so fun. And then the commentator was awesome. Then, like, just the graphics of, like, you doing a special move, pops up on the screen. I was like, yes, this is like EA big. I was like, I used to love EA big games. It's like, man, they are doing it over EA. I said, these games are just fun. I mean, it was between that and I think that was it. I mean, either that or Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo come out that summer? I forget. And maybe it did. I think Gran Turismo did come out that summer. But I think it's NBA Street I played the most that summer on PlayStation 2. When my friend let me hold it. Or then I think I ended up borrowing it from like Blockbuster or something. So I can have more time with it. But yeah, that game was damn awesome. I don't know why. Why didn't I buy it? Or maybe, you know what? I think I did buy it, yo. And I just ended up selling it back to GameStop for another game. Because this is when I had a summer job.
Right.
And I got a summer job. I think I ended up eventually buying it myself. But yeah, NBA Street, awesome. Awesome game.
Definitely. Even better once they added Mario in 3.
I don't know about that. But
no, 2 was definitely the pinnacle.
I didn't play 3. Yeah, I didn't play 3 on any console. I don't know how that was. I'm not sure. I just know, like, what was the game? The Def Jam game, the third one, that was bad. I think that's when I really just got off EA big games. All right. So, well, I think that's it for the flashback segment. So I guess we'll take a break. And when we get back, we get to the gaming news. And we're back. Let's get to the gaming news. So what we got, Dan?
All right, Dominic, before we jump into the festivities, we've got some other news to talk about here in the video game world. We got an update on the Playdate. If you'll remember, this is the handheld console similarly styled to like a Game Boy, but it's got a nice little handheld crank on the side of it.
Yeah, I've been seeing that this week. And I was wondering, like, why am I seeing this? Why do people care? But go ahead.
It's pretty cool looking. We've talked about it in the past. The concept of it seems neat. Like, the way they're distributing the games is you're going to get one a week. Although they announced during this one that so many people are developing for it that it's actually going to be 2 a week. And
cool.
It's going to kind of be like part of a season. They're doing season 1 will come along with the Playdate itself, which will cost you $179. You're fine. And along with that, you'll get, I think it's 24 games. And they're going to be black and white because that's what the screen is, but it's like a very vivid black and white. So it seems pretty cool. And they've got some developers signed on. They're pretty big names, ones that I can't think of right at this moment because I just blanked all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, some of these games look pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know what? This thing looks kind of cool, Dan. Yeah, you should buy me one.
I don't know about buying you one, but I might get one.
Buy me a Playdate stereo dock.
I'll buy you the stereo dock. Buy me one, and then together we can form Voltron. One of the games is made by Lucas Pope, the guy that did Return of the Obra Dinn that came out a couple of years ago. That kind of pointillism looking game where you're trying to solve the murders on the ships. That game always seemed cool. And that's called Mars by
so that's what you're doing.
Midnight.
I always see Obra Dinn, but I never looked up to see what exactly are you doing.
Yeah, you're like investigating bodies, and then you're like living back through memories, I think, and doing that kind of thing. It's like a murder mystery kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Darn, now I'm actually interested. I purposely just told myself don't care about this thing. Now you made me care.
Yeah. Yeah, so this thing's coming out at $179. The pre-orders are taking place in July, and they said they're going to give everybody a week notice of when they go up. But they're also not going to make them limited. They're just going to keep taking orders and keep fulfilling the orders until the demand's not there anymore. It sounds like they're not doing like, this is a limited run. We're only doing 500,000 or something like that. So that's nice. I wish more companies were kind of like that. Well, I wish things were structured a little more like that,
and
where it's like I can just put my name on a list for a PlayStation 5, and
I mean, the
when
company
they become
that's doing
available,
this,
they'll do it.
I mean, I'm sure they got money, but I mean, compared to like Nintendo, where they could have just kept making the damn
Mario games.
freaking Nintendo and Super Nintendo Minis.
Yeah, those two, yeah.
Like what? Oh yeah, the Mario. Of course, the Mario game. But yeah, it's like, why does it have to be limited? The Super Nintendo and Mini and the Nintendo Mini. It had no reason to be limited.
Yeah, and it's crazy now because I don't even think they're like super expensive now because they were limited. I feel like they're kind of everywhere. Like you can still get a Super Nintendo Mini new because I think by that time everybody was kind of like over the mini craze. It seems so weird that we kind of moved past that and never got a Nintendo 64 Mini.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool that they're doing that. So, it might take some time. They acknowledge that, especially with the way everything is right now in the world and like chip shortages and everything. Like it might take a while, but we will fulfill that order if we can. They also announced they're doing a stereo dock, which very much like it slips on the system itself, slips on the front of it. And it almost looks like an old CRT, like portable style television that you or I might remember from back in the day. Or like one of those booth cam or booth video things like you would see on like a football field or something like that before everything got tinier and flatter. And that's bright yellow, much like the system. And it also has a pen holder in it. So you get a matching pen along with it. I haven't seen a price for that thing. I wonder how much that is. It's basically like a Bluetooth speaker. So I hope it's not too expensive. But yeah, just from a mechanic standpoint and having that little crank on it and kind of having like an open development thing seems really cool. Like this could be a very neat thing. I don't know at $179 if I'm willing to commit to what amounts to me is mostly a gimmick right now. Maybe there's enough support there down the line that I'm like, oh, okay, I got my money's worth out of it.
Dan, just buy it for me.
I'll buy it and let you hold it forever. I don't need it back in my house. You just keep it there, stockpile it for me. So it looks really neat. We'll see as it gets closer to launch, whenever that may be. They didn't really make it clear as to when they would start delivering these, but yeah, they're going to start taking...
I just imagine this game, because I forgot it had buttons on the front. I kept thinking it was just a crank.
Oh, yeah.
And you just crank it and the game plays by itself. That's what I think. Or you have to crank and stop. Like, oh, you got to miss something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, move back. No, move forward now. And stuff like that. It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cute. Yeah.
I'd be interested to see if somebody goes to like the extent of porting old Game Boy games to it or something, like, making it like an emulator thing almost, where you can just play old Game Boy. Because, you got the two buttons and a D-pad. That's basically what there was for that system at the time. So, yeah, I think with that screen, which looks really nice, I would be very interested to see if somebody did that. That'd be cool. Some other news, Dominic. EA is having some trouble this week. We got the announcement of a new game, but along with that, we also got the announcement that someone has hacked into them and apparently gained access to the source code for FIFA 21 and also just the Frostbite engine. So that's some low-level hacking right there, Dominic.
Yeah, it really is.
I wonder if people are going to like data mine out of the FIFA stuff, like loot box drops and whatever fantasy card stuff, and be like, look how much they're fucking us over with this.
God damn, man. All these other games, you're going to pick FIFA.
FIFA is the most popular game in the world, Dominic.
You could have found like a special project they're working on, or maybe, or at least tell us
they're
like
they
ain't got nothing. They ain't got...
As many people as are having conferences this week, Dominic, these hackers might have they might announce a press conference, a Nintendo Direct style thing on Wednesday after everybody else has done theirs. Like, we're showing off EA's new games that they didn't show off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's unfortunate. Hopefully it also did not get into, people's information, whether it be employees or people that have Origin accounts and, might have their credit cards tied to that. That stuff always concerns me. So yeah, EA, lock your shit down a little better. Maybe you need a new IT manager or something. Get that figured out. But for their good news, Dominic, they did announce the new Battlefield game they've been teasing. Battlefield 2042. I know visually people were very impressed by this, and they had announced that they're adding far more players to multiplayer maps. It's 128, I think, is what they're doing now.
Sweet.
So, all the players.
From 64 to 128, good God.
Yeah, it sounds like their maps are going to be ginormous, which, it makes me think back to the days of, Battlefield 1942 and playing on the PC, the demo where you're playing, Wake Island. And at the time, for us, it felt like it was huge because you hadn't really gotten multiplayer maps that big. And I guess this is just kind of the natural evolution of things, right? They said they're not doing a battle royale thing.
So
that's
I guess that's for the best.
It is. I mean, they tried that with the last one, didn't really hit. So just focus on, your all other multiplayer modes and get that on lock.
It's more like future war, not so far
future,
in the future. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it looked all right. It looked pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely neat. We'll see what it ends up being, though, whether it's actually...
Yeah. I mean, the trailer looked pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's coming out October 22nd, Dominic, so we won't be waiting that long. Next thing you know, it'll be that time of the year. All right, Dominic, you clued me into this one this morning because it was freshly sort of announced, sort of leaked. Apparently, this showed up on Nintendo's site earlier this morning ahead of the Ubisoft Forward that will be happening today as of this recording. Mario and Rabbids 2, Sparks of Hope, Dominic. It's happening. You called it. You pointed to the bleachers, to the cheap seats, knocked it out of here.
I wonder what's going to be added to this one. Mm-hmm. Are there going to be any new characters like Waluigi? Or the
Waluigi Rabbit?
Yeah, or Wario Rabbit at least.
Yeah.
They had Donkey Kong in the last one, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I wonder if there be any other new Mario characters in this. Was there there was a co-op element with the last one, right? Or just versus? What was it?
I can't remember, to be honest with you. That sounds right, but also I'm not sure how they would have implemented that in that game. If
there wasn't any multiplayer or co-op in it, I think it's going to be in this one. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, here you go. Here's a Joy-Con. Here's a Joy-Con. Each of these characters is going to be one of us, and we can take turns, taking down these guys. Yeah, that's cool. I'm glad that they're returning to that series. That first one was really good. I liked it a lot, and it's a competent XCOM style game. So they did a good job with that one.
Man, I know that it's got to be some new features. So I'm wondering what cool features they're going to have.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Dominic. Anything else you want to jump into before we get into Mr. Keighley's wild ride?
Nah, we can go in because we got a lot.
All right, Dominic. Stop me. I mean, these first couple are going to be kind of big, but as I go through later on, maybe we just kind of glaze over some of these, so stop me if you have any feelings about them.
All right.
All right. Show
and
kicked
wake
off.
Me up if I fall asleep.
With Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. That is a Borderlands-style game set in a fantasy world. Basically, kind of a continuation of the spin-off Tiny Tina's Assault on Dungeon Keep that was DLC for Borderlands 2, where she was basically the dungeon master to a Dungeons and Dragons style campaign. So that should be pretty cool.
I mean, it is cool. It seems cool because I did like that. Assault on Dungeon Keep, and I like Tiny Tina. I know some people are annoyed of her. I mean, you put like this, Borderlands is like a hit and miss for some people.
Yeah, it definitely seems kind of decisive character-wise.
Yeah, character-wise, yeah. And so for me, I enjoyed the characters in between 1 through 2 and some of and also the pre-sequel. But excuse me, but. In 3, it was a little iffy. I think because 3, it was a downer. 3 was a downer for me.
Yeah.
Now with this, the look of it, it doesn't look that much different. I mean, they only show a little tidbit of it. You know, you'll probably see some more of it this E3 coming up. Maybe talk about it next week. Because it was just like a little trailer of it. And, you know, like it wasn't no gameplay or nothing. But the look of it's like kind of the same. And that's a little disappointing a bit. But maybe if I see more of the game, I'll be like, oh, this looks way better than what Borderlands 3 was. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I like the setting. The setting sounds pretty cool. I want to see more of this. I mean, I hope it turns out pretty good. I hope it turns out better than Borderlands 3. I mean, I really do.
Yeah. All right. After that, Dominic, we got a trailer for Metal Slug Tactics. This looks pretty cool. Kind of like a tactics ogre battle style thing.
And then like your Advanced War games, right?
Yeah, similar to that too, yeah. Yeah, for some reason I always kind of think of those as different genres, even though they're very much similar.
Wait a minute. I didn't know Metal Slug was a tactics game before this.
It wasn't. It wasn't. This is okay. It's usually a side-scrolling shooter kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, bullet hell.
But what do you mean, like different genres then?
No, I mean like when I describe this as like a tactics ogre battle type thing, and then you say Advance Wars, I always kind of associate those two things with different things, even though they're very much similar styles. Yeah,
you do, and I never knew why, because I was like, it's like I played that. I was like, this is pretty similar to those games.
Yeah,
and they're better. Maybe that's what it is. You like the kid, because Advanced Wars is very kiddie.
Yes, it is,
and you like it simple
until like the Dark Days ones, and then it's just like weirdly dark.
Yeah, that didn't really do anything for me when they went that route. I think I did I like the older games, Advanced Wars 2, of that nature. Yeah. But yeah, the Metal Slug, it piques my interest because I do like tactics games. Yeah. So doing that, and also the look of it, the pixel arty look.
Yeah, it looks great. Metal Slug
like
always looks pretty awesome, but now you like. It's usually so hard that you're like, I'm just trying to get through this. You aren't really getting a chance to kind of focus on the small details that they put in there. And with a tactics game, you slow everything down. You can really check out how awesome everything looks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's neat. After that, we had a surprise guest, Dominic. That
was no surprise.
As some of us may be aware, Geoff Keighley is very fond of a Mr. Hideo Kojima.
Of course he's fond. They're married.
I told you, man. I'm not sure that the love is reciprocated anymore. Hideo Kojima very much didn't seem like he was into this call. It was very much like, I'm trying to get him off the phone. But yeah, he was there to not announce a new project, but announce Death Stranding director's cut for the PS5, along with a cutesy little trailer of the guy from Death Stranding trying to climb into a box the wrong way. And that's happening for the PS5. So if you want to get your next gen,
Death Stranding's director's cut, so they're gonna have some.
It's Hideo Kojima. When has he ever been known to actually cut anything out of his games? Come on now.
Nah, he just I think it's fun. Because you know what people say director's cut. I'm thinking like, especially this game, is it really a director's cut? Or is just the same game with some extra stuff now? Because director's cut makes it like, hey, this is what I wanted to do, and I couldn't do everything I wanted to do in the previous game.
His own studio forced him to not put that stuff in.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe it's a budget thing. Maybe Sony didn't give him enough money to do everything you wanted.
You know what?
Now that the game's successful, he's like, I can put a new skin in here. I can replace Conan O'Brien with Jay Leno, which I wanted to do originally, but he was just more expensive. Something like that. I want to put dewbacks in this one scene on the sand planet. All right, Dominic. After that, we have Jeff Goldblum come out. He made fun of
being Jeff Goldblum.
Yes, very much. He's a weird cat to figure out because, like, when you watch when you watch that show on Disney Plus, he you could tell when he was like genuinely excited about something. And there's like hints of that here, but mostly it just seemed like he was reading off a teleprompter and was very much just like, well, yeah, yes, he did. Which is a very Jeff Goldblum thing to do, right? Like, I'm just going to tell you I'm not interested in being here instead of you figuring it out. But all that led up to the announcement of Jurassic World 2 or Jurassic World Evolution 2, the park builder game you have previously talked about on here. Is there anything that you're maybe looking for in it too? Maybe more of a structured tutorial kind of thing or anything like that?
Well, I think they have a good tutorial.
Oh, they did. This one did, right? Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't the like, park coaster, Planet Coaster.
Planet Coaster. Gotcha.
So, I guess more. Maybe I want more. Like you can mess up the genetic make of the dinosaurs, like you combine
mix
them
and
to
match
make something
kind of thing.
More. Yeah, and also, I mean, there was more things you could add to that game, like as far as the park stuff that could have been more in depth with. So I think they can add certain things with that, like probably just more stuff, honestly. But I can, I can't think of anything more, but I can see it being better. You know, I can see it better. But just really, it's just adding more stuff. To it. That's with these park games. I think it was good, but it was a lot of stuff that could have been. I can imagine be added that was in the park coaster games. That's not in this. That I think you can definitely add to it.
Yeah, because that's made by the Planet Coaster people, right?
What'd you say? Yeah,
that is. Yeah, okay.
But when is this game supposed to come out? They have a release date?
Not specifically, but it's coming out this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Maybe a little after the movie or maybe the DVD release. I don't know.
Yeah. The streaming
the
service
Blu-ray release, I guess it's that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. After that was their first live performance from a musical artist, Tokyo Breakfast. I was not familiar with her.
Yes,
but it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, because they kind of used her performance as the trailer for the game Sable.
Sable, yes.
So they had that playing behind her and kind of.
So you might as well talk about Sable because that was in this other. Did you the Tribeca?
Yeah,
one?
I saw that was part of their thing as well. Yeah. Sable looks really neat. It's very like cell shady, flat colors. It kind of reminds me of Hyper Light Drifter, but in a 3-dimensional world. Just the colors that they choose to use, where it's like a mix of earthy tones, but also like some bright reds and pinks and stuff like that. Yeah, it just looks stylistically beautiful. I don't know really too much about what you're doing in the game. It seems kind of like a adventure style, I don't know if it's
just
an
being
open
all
world.
Of the animation, Daniel. That's what you're doing in the game.
What's that?
You're just being in awe of the animation.
I mean, I am.
And
It's
the look of the game.
very impressive. It's really cool.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
It almost.
What was the other festivals? Tribeca, what?
Yeah, the Tribeca Games thing.
Okay.
Games Festival, maybe.
I mean, yeah, because that was the thing. I mean, I'm just going to mention because we're not going to really go all too into it. It was after the Summer Game Fest. It happened the day Friday. Mm-hmm. So that more went to the behind the scenes of certain games. Like they had the developers talking and how they made the game and the art of the game. More like almost like a film festival version of I mean, yeah, it's almost like a game festival, like a film festival. Right? Yeah. Because I think that's what they do. I think Tribeca does films. They did films first, and now they're doing games. So, yeah, they went through some games like Kena was in there.
Bridge of Spirits. What was it? Kena exclusive.
Spirits. Right? What's it called?
Bridge of Spirits. Yeah.
Bridge of Spirits, and which we see them before for the PS5. Really looks like a Zelda kind of adventure.
That is a Sony exclusive, right?
Yeah, right now it's Sony's exclusive, but it's on Epic Store. I saw Epic Store at the bottom.
Oh, yeah, it's coming to PC too. Okay. That's what it was.
And then they show other games. I can't remember.
I'm looking at the list here. The Harland Halibut is the stop motion one, the claymation one that you were telling me about.
Yeah.
That looks really neat.
Yeah. Now, I don't know really how it plays. I think they can control the character or something, but it does look really neat. And then the game Sable they showed off in that one too. They show other games too.
Yeah, they showed off 12 Minutes, which is that one we've talked about before in like the Xbox conference where you're trapped in a room and you're like reliving this relationship through 12-minute bits that stars James McAvoy and Daisy Ridley and William Dafoe. The Big Con, I can't remember if we've ever actually talked about it on here, but I've seen it a couple of times and it very much reminds me of like Toe Jam and Earl, like that kind of 90s aesthetic of very Dayglow colors and stuff like that. That game looks really neat. So yeah, there were a couple involved in that were neat.
And they had demos. You can play a demo, but you had to be the first to sign up for it. So like they got tickets, certain amount of tickets, and so they went out quick. Yeah. So unfortunately, I couldn't get my hands on one. But it was cool. Yeah. All right, back to the Game Fest.
All right, after that, Dominic, they showed off Lost Ark, which is a game from the Amazon Game Studios. It's kind of like a top-down isometric RPG style thing. It looks like it might have multiple players. And that's coming out this fall.
It seemed like so forgettable.
It really does, because like so many of these things, I feel like I'm going to find myself describing as like a top-down isometric RPG.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of stuff that kind of had that same, not necessarily the same vibe, because like Endless Dungeon, which I'll mention later, maybe if I don't just talk about it here. It has kind of the same look and feel, but not look, but it has the same kind of perspective and gameplay look and stuff. But it has a different aesthetic. You know, it's more cartoony. It's not like medieval fantasy kind of thing. It's more like space sci-fi. But gameplay wise, all of these are kind of, there's a lot that kind of are looking similar. So yeah. After that, they briefly talked about Call of Duty Season 4. That's coming on June 17th. I don't know if you've got anything to say about that, Dominic, but more Call of Duty stuff. They're adding stuff. Guns, skins, things like that. All right. After that was Among Us. Again, adding more stuff. They've got skins. They're teasing that there's going to be another map coming at some point. New like kill animations and stuff. Hide and seek mode, which maybe that's cool. Like, because there's a lot of kids playing that game and a lot of murder happening in that game. So maybe changing that to like a hide and seek style game instead of just like, it's murder. That could be cool. And the Geoff Keighley mask is back, Dominic. If you watched like some of his thing on Twitch, like 15 minutes of it or something, you could unlock access to getting the Geoff Keighley mask in Among Us, so you can wear that weird looking thing.
Yeah, I guess that's great.
Yeah. After that was Shuhei Yoshida, the kind of PlayStation indie head. He came on to talk about Chicory, which is actually out right now. It's a Chicory, A Colorful Tale. Aesthetically, that game looks very cool. I don't know what's actually happening in it. I'm going to look up some reviews or some gameplay videos later, but that looks really neat from what they showed off there. It's like you can draw on any surface or something, but like you're solving puzzles with your drawings or something. And then Salt and Sacrifice, which is coming out next year.
And chicory's a plant.
Yes, it is. Yes. Because I Googled it earlier. The only
reason I know that because I was typing it in.
I was going to say, I looked it up earlier and that's what came up. Yeah, Salt and Sacrifice, that is the sequel to Salt and Sanctuary that came out many years ago, which is kind of like a side-scrolling Dark Souls is what I always heard it described as.
Oh, Chicory's out now.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it will also appear later in our new releases. So, yeah, that looks cool. After that was Solar Ash.
Go back. I'm sorry.
Where are we at?
Do the Salt and Sacrifice again, because I was looking up Chicory.
Gotcha. All right. After that, we had Salt and Sacrifice. That's coming out in 2022. That is the sequel to Salt and Sanctuary, which was basically like 2D Dark Souls. I heard it described as very like purposeful animations and things of that nature.
Oh, okay.
Very difficult. Has a very kind of dark but hand-drawn vibe to it. Look, aesthetic. Seems cool. After that was Solar Ash. This is the new Heart Machine game, which are the people behind Hyper Light Drifter. Like this and Sable kind of have the same feel to me, even though they seem very much like gameplay-wise different. Solar Ash is you've got like skates on and you're moving around the world very fast. And that's coming PS4 and PS5 this year. After that was Escape from Tarkov, which this is one of those games that, like, to me, secretly has this fan base that I am just not aware of, because it's like a battle royale mixed with a survival game, almost like a Stalker, like Rise of Chernobyl or whatever that game was called, kind of thing. Like, I had only heard of it because there's a guy at work that for a while there was playing it very dedicated, like every night he would go home and play some more of Tarkov. And I'm like, what is Tarkov? I had
so
no
now
idea.
It's Escape from Tarkov. And now you're trying to escape.
Escaping. No, it's always been Escape from Tarkov. It's just been shorthanded as Tarkov, but they're adding like new stuff, new guns, new play modes, stuff like that. After that, Dominic, we talked about the leak of this, but 2 Point Campus, it is actually happening. It's official now. So bringing the 2 Point comedy stylings to the schoolyard.
Yeah. That look cool.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it looks like something I'll get addicted to.
All right. Speaking of things you won't get addicted to, though, Dominic, Smite, it is getting new content. Again, another game where I'm like, I remember us playing this for like a very short amount of time.
Very short.
And then it's like secretly been one of the biggest things happening, seemingly, because now it's getting Stranger Things content. Last year it got Avatar content, like Avatar The Last Airbender content. Like, those are pretty big properties for something that, we basically don't hear anyone talk about anymore.
Good for Smite.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because there was other games that were coming out that was similar to Smite 2 around the
like
same
Paladins.
time. There was that, like, Paladins.
Although I think that's the one that's more like Overwatch, right?
Well, Overwatch, yeah. I get that confused with the Epic one, the Epic game that didn't do so well. Then you have the, what was it called? Big and Big. Because we played some of this game too. Gigantic or
Gigantic. Yeah.
Okay, Gigantic, yeah. I don't think that game's around anymore.
Yeah. It's so crazy that, I mean, the thing now is, what's incredible is that there's so many people playing video games.
A free to play, yeah.
Oh, really?
Okay. I mean, no. Service officially shut down in 2018. Okay.
That sounds right. But it's just incredible that there's like video games are so big now that there can be something that can be like one of the biggest video games in the world and we still not even really know about it.
Yeah.
That's kind of how like Rainbow Six was for a while there, where it's like, oh, this became a huge thing while we were looking over at this other thing over here. Yeah. So that's cool. After that, they showed off Prime Matter. That was kind of an announcement thing. They're basically a new division underneath Koch Media, who is kind of like secretly owning everything. It's not the Koch brothers. So it's not like some weird right-wing ownership of video games. But they're basically, from what I've heard, is it sounds like they're kind of Tencent, but not Tencent. Tencent, but not Chinese, I guess I should say. I'm honestly not sure where they are. I don't think they're American, though. I want to say they're some European company. But under this new branding, they're calling themselves Prime Matter, and they teased a ton of games, most of which I did not write down. but one of the big ones, Payday. That's kind of also been one of those things. It's like secretly been one of the biggest games. And a new Painkiller game, which it's been a while since we've gotten a Painkiller game.
Oh, yeah.
And those games are cool. So I am all for them revisiting that franchise. It's very, very much first-person shooter in the style of like an early Doom type thing, but maybe with an older, like, I don't know, turn of the century. Is that the right term? Like that kind of vibe to it, like olden days.
Yeah.
Crossbows and stuff like that instead of guns and things like that. So that looked cool. After that was Anacrusis, which is like Left 4 Dead horde mode style looking thing where it's like you and a couple of your friends are taking on waves of zombies or alien creatures.
Yes, it's alien creatures, yeah.
Yeah, and you're on like a luxury space liner, it seems like.
That's
almost.
What it seems like. Yeah, like
set
you said,
in the 70s. Yeah. You got people with like huge afros and, you know, those bright orange clothes and that kind of aesthetic. It seems neat, but this is another one that I was telling you, like, it seems like we're getting back to, well, I don't even know if we were really ever there, but like, we're finally getting to the point where people are like, oh yeah, Left 4 Dead was a good concept. We should probably make that style game. So there are a couple of those during this show that we saw. So that's cool. After that, just a quick thing about Fast and Furious cars coming back to Rocket League. I know I think they'd previously done that, but now like the new movie cars are coming to there.
It's about family, Daniel.
It's about family. After that was Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt. So they're taking the Vampire Masquerade thing, style, gameplay, and they're making a battle royale out of it because everybody's making a battle royale game.
This is what we want.
It looks cool. I will say, like,
it does. It
adding
does
the
good.
vampire stuff to a battle royale.
I mean, it looks all right.
Neat.
It actually. I mean, yeah, it does.
I mean, they didn't
right.
really have like a lot to show for it. It was very like CG trailer style thing.
Yeah.
But the idea of that seems pretty cool. They're going to be doing a closed alpha later this year, so you can sign up on their website for that now. So that's neat. Continuing.
I just feel like it's going to be lost though, man.
Yeah. I mean, just another battle royale game. Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it'll probably have maybe they made a game that it doesn't need a ton, just needs some,
right?
And they okay with that, and that they can still make a profit from it.
And I feel like with the Vampire Masquerade attachment, like you can find that niche, like those people that are like super into vampires and also want to play a battle royale thing. Like, I'm going to go file down my canines, and then I'm going to go play some of this game, Dominic. And then I'm going to drink a very red wine that I like to pretend is blood. Not that I'm calling out any of our vampire viewership. I'm just saying.
No. It's okay to drink blood.
Absolutely. All right, Dominic, after that, another scary style game. We got Dark Pictures Anthology, House of Ashes. So the Dark Picture Anthology games are the ones coming from the studio behind the game that I am blanking on right now, the one that we played a bit of together.
Yeah.
Fudge.
Dawn.
Until Dawn, yes. Thank you.
Until Dawn.
Yeah, and is Ready at Dawn the one that make that? That seems too convenient.
No, it's not Ready at Dawn.
Okay, thank you. Until Dawn is made by... They are made by Supermassive Games. That's who makes that. All right.
This anthology stuff has been going. Is this like the third game?
Yeah, I think this is like the third, at least, maybe fourth. And I've heard pretty positive things about most of them.
Yeah, I have too.
It's kind of been
and I would love to
down.
play them. I'm just afraid.
But they're scary, yeah. And this one seems like it's like taking place something to do with like Iraq and soldiers and stuff. So that seems creepy.
This is definitely a different setting.
Yeah. So that's coming out October 22nd of this year, just in time for Halloween.
Give those actors money, man, because a lot of those will be actors I've seen, but I only see them a lot in places, but they get to act in these games.
Absolutely. So that's cool. After that, we got Tales of Arise, Dominic. This is
New
part
Tales
of the
game.
Tales series,
The 50th
anime
one.
RPG. You know what's up. It's coming out September 21st, 2021. So you got that to look forward to. After that was Planet of Lana. This is like a side-scrolling, kind of simplified platform puzzle game.
It does look like Inside.
Yeah, I wrote it as
yeah.
colorful inside because it very much has, like, the movement looks like that. Like the way the characters move has that kind of physics look to them. But it is very much more colorful and vibrant in a way that Inside was not. So definitely got my eye on that. That looks neat. After that was some Overwatch 2 skin talk. They just were like, hey, we're putting a lot of time into making new skins.
Yeah, that was what a waste. Get the hell out of here. That's all I want to say.
Oh, isn't that just what Sombra always looks like?
Me too. God,
She really did look that different. Maybe if I'll have to go back and like do a compare and contrast. Like, oh, okay, I see what they did here. They gave her toe shoes, but yeah. It was not like, oh my God, they reinvented her character. It was just like, oh, here's this thing that we subtly did. Like, thanks, guys. All right. After that was Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance. It's like a co-op third-person action RPG game. They had
that's coming out this month, right?
I think it is, right? Because they had some celebrities, quote unquote, playing it, like Hannibal Buress, the comedian. Yeah. Also, Ember Moon from WWE, they had her on there. That was cool.
She said she did her character based off this. Did I say that? I guess she read the books or something? Is this like a known character?
Or just Dungeons and Dragons in general, maybe. Yeah, that's coming out June 22nd, so that'll be out in no time. So, you got that coming out. Another game we got coming up very soon, Dominic, July 9th, Monster Hunter Stories 2, Rings of Ruin. So we got that, Monster Hunter, but with more story now. So yeah, maybe that'll appeal to people that weren't not
fans of this
Monster Hunter.
But we know there's a big fan base out there.
Yeah.
So.
After that, we had a Weezer performance with some Wave Break footage mixed in. Wave Break... I looked this up, some gameplay video of this to see what it was, because this one, more so than like the Tokyo Breakfast performance, was a lot more focused on Weezer and less on the game. Like, it didn't really get a good look at the game during this. But it's like little animals, like bears and penguins and stuff, on boats, and it looked kind of like Wave Race. But then looking at like the gameplay stuff, it's very much like Tony Hawk stuff. Like, you're grinding on things, and you're doing objectives and stuff, which looks kind of cool. But also, like, I just kind of want a Wave Race game, because there hasn't really been anything like that I can.
I don't really. I mean, I wouldn't mind a Wave Race game, but I really want Jet Moto.
Yeah. Oh, I would love a Jet Moto game. That'd be awesome. That was one of those games, like, not even owning a PlayStation, I'd go over to my buddy's house and like, let's get some Jet Moto stuff.
Yeah.
But there's also a multiplayer mode in this that introduces guns. So you just got these little bear creatures or little animal creatures, forest woodland creatures, on boats with Uzis and shotguns and murdering each other. So not sure why they felt the need to add that portion to it, but okay, I guess. All right. After that was Endless Dungeon, which I mentioned earlier. That's kind of a co-op, isometric, roguelike, tactical action game. Lots of keywords there. So.
I just feel like was this a game before?
There's, what is it called? It's from the same developers. There's something like that, I think. Let me see here.
It's the same as Enter the Gungeon?
There was Endless Legends that they made, and Endless Space.
Legends. That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's Amplitude Studios that worked on that. Yeah. So there's that. After that was a interview with Giancarlo Esposito of Far Cry 6 fame, Dominic. He's really making a name for himself in this video game area. He just basically talked about playing the the seeming antagonist in this game.
Oh, there was a game called Dungeon of the Endless.
Oh, okay. That's not made by the same people, though, right? But maybe
Amplitude Studios.
Is that who made it?
No. Yeah. Is that the same
then
people?
yeah, that's the same people.
Oh, they just what the hell?
Let's just rearrange these letters and different names. Yeah, that's great. All right. Yeah, Far Cry 6. They didn't really show much gameplay or game at all. Honestly, it was really just Geoff Keighley talking about him playing the character, playing Gus, and playing the guy from Star Wars. So there was that. It's cool to see him. After that was Fall Guys. They're getting a crossover. They're getting 2B costume from Nier Automata.
Geoff Keighley said legendary
yes,
game
he
franchise.
did. Thank you for bringing that up.
And I was like, this game is not that old.
But it's carved out a legend, Dominic.
Yeah, like I'm thinking like this is going to be like an old franchise. So what is it? Is it Pac-Man or something? What's going on? And then they showed Nier from Nier Automata, 2B from Nier Automata, and I'm like, the game is only probably like 5 years old. What are you talking about?
And it's left an indelible mark on the games industry, Dominic.
It's like you embellished that a little too much there, bro.
Legendary. Yeah, that was hilarious. Hilariously overstated, Dominic. All right, after that was Deviation Games, and they are two guys came out there, kind of talked about what they're doing with the studio. Basically, it's two guys from Treyarch that split off and seemingly just kind of want to do their own thing. They announced a partnership with Sony, and they're going to be doing a new IP with them. So basically, recruitment video. Hey, you want to work for us? Come work on this thing that we can't talk about yet. But also, fuck Activision. We didn't have enough control, so we made our own thing. It's kind of what it seemed like. Because he did make a point of saying, like, oh, we've got our own control now. Like, oh, okay. Calm down, buddy. All right. After that, Dominic was Back for Blood. They talked about how they're doing an open beta in August. We don't have a date for when that's coming out anymore, do we? Because wasn't that originally supposed to be coming? Okay, maybe
October.
I'm confusing that with something else then. So it is coming in October.
Yeah.
Okay.
October 8th.
Gotcha. All right. So we have that to look forward to, and we have the open beta to look forward to try that out. Hopefully that turns out to be good.
It's a closed, early access you can sign up for too.
Oh, okay.
That's before the open beta.
As with everything nowadays.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Do I have to pre-order to get into that one? That's what it always feels like.
No, because I signed up. It's free.
Oh, nice. Okay.
To try to get it.
Very good. Good job, Back for Blood. Claps all around. After that was Tunic, Dominic, the return of, as you saw the joke, Star Fox, the legend of Star Fox, basically. Yeah, this is a game we've talked about for a very long time now. It looks awesome. It's kind of an isometric view, Zelda-style action game, but you're playing as a cute little fox. Yeah, I just want to get my hands on it. They are going to be a part of the ID at Xbox Summer Demo Game Festival event thing later this week, so definitely going to try and get my hands on that a little bit, see what's going on with that thing.
When is the ID Summer Game Fest demo event
It
starting?
starts on the 15th, I believe.
Of this month?
Yes.
Woo!
Yeah, that's a summer demo event. Will feature over 40 games you can try, and yes, it kicks off the second annual Summer Game Fest demo event on Tuesday, January 15th, 2021. You'll be able to try over 40 games on your Xbox One or Xbox Series X or S.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
And they will disappear at the end of the day on
some of them
Monday, June
because
21st.
some of these demos stayed. Because they're still on my damn drive and I can play them.
Yeah, so That's very cool. This is what we always talked about, Dominic, wanting to be able to play the games, especially in a year where you don't even have a physical presence. Like, make it more available to people. All right. After that was Tribes of Midgar. This is coming July 27th. And this is another isometric game. This time you're playing as Vikings. It looks very cartoony. So I am glad to see that after God of War brought us into, Norse mythology, we finally decided that it's
ground, aren't they?
It seems like it. Seems like everybody's kind of going in that direction now. Speaking of kind of going in the same direction, Dominic, the Evil Dead game that is allegedly coming out this year. And this looks like kind of a Left 4 Dead or a Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
or
it does look like Friday the
13th
13th kind of vibe too, I get from it. Because I want to know, can you be the end? Because, it looks like it, but I don't know if it is.
It looked like somebody was playing as that evil character, right?
It did, yeah.
But yeah, it seems like there's some asynchronicity to it. So yeah, that looked pretty neat. And then Dominic, the kind of showstopper was Elden Ring. It's finally happening. And they gave that a release date, January 21st of 2022. So Dark Souls fans, you have something to look forward to. Game of Thrones fans, you have something to look forward to.
I don't know what Game of Thrones fans do. Because even though he might have wrote it or whatever, but it's like I wonder if it's a good story. Is it going to be a better story than Dark Souls? Or
is it going to have a story unlike Dark Souls?
Yeah. Oh,
yes, I know Dark Souls fans. There's a story if you read the item things and then you make shit up and then you read people's posts online about making more shit up. I'm losing all our fans here, Dominic. But yeah,
they've been gone. We don't even talk about no Dark Souls games on this
it's very
podcast.
True. You're still on board now. You just like the abuse. Yeah, it looks like one of those games, Dominic, but there's a horse now that you can ride, so that's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Was there anything
it's
about
on PC,
this that stood out to you?
No, not really.
Yeah.
It looks good, but
it does.
I just not into those type of games. But maybe if I have some helpers on the PC and if it can run on my PC, I'll try it out just like I did Sekiro. That's why I like that game.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, so that was Geoff Keighley's show, Dominic. Now, you watched a lot more of the other stuff kind of that I didn't see. Is there anything from any of the other conferences you want to talk about?
No, I watched IGN's a bit, and it really was. I couldn't distinguish anything. A lot of the games I saw were isometric games from view, and it's really I can't really distinguish it. It's like someone saying in the comments, it's just like information overload that, especially with things that look so similar. It's like maybe I don't need to watch those smaller ones. Maybe I need to just focus on the big ones, look at them. I mean, I might look at them, but if I don't see a lot of interest. Because it's just like, I can't take in all that information. I can't remember all these titles. I barely can remember it from the big conferences. Do I need this other showcase? Do I need the IG showcase just to show me games? Because they show some games that I've already seen.
Right. Yeah.
I was in Geoff Keighley's show. It's like, come on, I don't need that. That's like, we don't need that, really. Yeah. It's like, I don't know. But yeah, I'm just waiting for the shows today. Ubisoft is first. What else we got today?
Yeah, what do we have today? Because I know Microsoft is tomorrow, right? And then Nintendo is Tuesday? So.
Is Sony doing anything, like during the time of E3?
No, it doesn't sound like it. I mean, we did get, Shuhei showing up at Keighley's thing. So there's some presence there. But yeah, it doesn't seem like. Brand new leak, Dominic, from the Ubisoft press conference. Rocksmith Plus will be announced today, an interactive music learning subscription service. So they're going to turn that game into a subscription service. So closed beta starts today. No, I've never been interested in actually playing the guitar. I enjoyed playing Rock Band, but that never made me go, I want to play a real guitar. Just don't have the time to learn.
Yeah, I hear
that,
your daughter back there.
Yeah. She also does not have time for guitar. She also doesn't want her father to become one of those guys that just breaks out the guitar. Like, oh, your date's here. Let's sing Kumbaya.
Yeah, it's Kumbaya.
I don't know why. Watch Dad play the fucking classic Foo Fighters song from 30 years ago. God, we're old. All right, Dominic. Yeah. Let's see. I was looking up to see who else had press conferences today. And it is... we also got the Gearbox Entertainment presentation, so I guess we would maybe get some more of the Tiny Tina stuff.
Yeah, and some Dukem.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get
Forever
some Dukem.
too.
Then we got Games Beat Session, which I'm not sure what that is. And then tomorrow we got the E3 pre-show, 24 entertainments, Naraka Blade Point. They're just things that I don't even understand the words behind. And then, of course, we got Xbox and Bethesda showcase. And then we got Square Enix, because tomorrow is like the official kickoff of E3, I think. Or no, I guess today is, because Ubisoft is included as part of that.
Yes,
yeah. Square Enix, Warner Brothers, Back for Blood, it sounds like is kind of maybe their focus on that. And the PC gaming show and future game show. And then Monday we got Verizon, of course, big video game publisher Verizon. In television, Take-Two, Indie Showcase, Freedom Games presentation, Mythical Games presentation.
Like when you sign up for Fios, you will save. you will save like $50 if you sign up now. And we give you a demo of this game or whatever.
Don't tempt them, Dominic. Yeah. And then Tuesday, we got Nintendo, and Bandai Namco is doing a thing, apparently. So, we will have lots more.
Future Power Ranger games, and
now we're talking.
Then all Dragon Ball Z's, and what else they got? All the animes.
All the animes, basically. Yeah. One Piece, maybe. Do they own? Yeah. So we will be back next week with a lot of stuff to talk about, I'm sure. Yeah. Even more so than this week. But did you have anything else for this week before we get into the new releases, Dominic?
Nah, you can go ahead, man.
All right. As mentioned, Chicory, A Color-Filled Tale, is now out on the PC, PS4, and PS5. Chicory. We also got Backbone. That's now out on the PC. I was telling you about that. I believe that's part of PC Games Pass, and it's like this world where...
Oh, it is. Oh, cool.
It is? Oh, are you
No.
Okay.
I'm just going by what you were saying.
Let me just look up to confirm that.
Yeah, don't get me excited.
Excite you, and then, Game Pass games, Backbone. Yes, coming soon at the time of this, which was on June 1st, is Backbone. So, yes. And I will, while I'm here, just read you the synopsis from Xbox.com. Raccoon detective Harold Loter is not a hero. He can barely make rent. And yet he has stumbled across something so massive that it will shake the very fabric of society. Stunning visuals, an evocative soundtrack, and a daring narrative bring a dystopian Vancouver, British Columbia, inhabited by animals to life in this highly anticipated post-noir adventure. Get to it, detective.
Man, the raccoon looks weird being that tall.
Their proportions, it's not right. But yeah, that game looks very cool. I was telling you, I think it maybe is your vibe, and also I'm intrigued by it as well. So maybe check that out on Game Pass.
There was another detective game that I was playing. I mentioned this weeks ago, but I never finished it. A point-and-click game that it was animals, too. And you was playing as, what was it? A panther? Or I forgot what you was playing as. A dog? I think it was a dog or something. Or a cat. One of them. But yeah, I just didn't finish it. But it had more of a cartoon art style, not pixelated sort of look like this one.
Gotcha. All right. After that, we got Chivalry 2. That's now on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series consoles. So, like you were telling me earlier, Dominic, you kind of got your Battlefield medieval game in Chivalry right there. So, very timely. After that, we've got No More Heroes and No More Heroes 2 releasing on the PC finally, Dominic. So, hot
Black Sad. That's what it's called.
Exclusive. Black Sad?
Yes.
Okay.
You play as a cat. You're a cat. Yeah. Yeah, this definitely has like the Hannibal noir kind of vibe. And now I'm going to go play Black Sad again, which I'm going to have to start over again because I don't remember what's happened.
Talk about weird proportions, Dominic. This cat makes me uncomfortable.
Oh, you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I've definitely seen him before. Did you record gameplay and put it on the podcast, maybe?
No, this. Okay. This is before I was doing gameplay of that game.
Gotcha. Okay. It just looks familiar.
Wow,
for
these
some
otters
reason.
are just all rubbing and
Are you watching? You watching the Twitch otters, Dominic?
Yeah.
Shout out to the Twitch otters. The only thing in the pools category you should be checking out.
It really is.
You heathens. All right, Dominic.
So
also out now is Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis on the PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. So if you've been waiting this long to finally be able to play Phantasy Star 2 in America, now is your time. Check it out. And we've got Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate for the PS5. So
boo! It should be on PS4 too. Boo!
I mean, that DLC should be on the PS4. Like, I don't know about Integrate. I don't know what technically integrates from Integrate. You know, I don't know what that entails. But yeah, the DLC should have come to.
But that's
the
what I've
PS4.
seen.
Right? I know. I'm just saying.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, you should be able to play as Yuffie on the PS4.
I mean, there's really no reason why it's exclusive to PS5. It's not because, like, we just put so much power in this DLC.
It's going to be really bad in, like, 6 months when they release it on the PS4, too. They're going to. You know they're going to, because you're not going to... In 6 months, you're still not going to be able to get a PlayStation 5. And people are going to complain, and they're going to realize that they're missing out on sales. And then they're going to be like, here, for, fucking $30, you can get this DLC for your game. Even the people that didn't buy it and just played the version from PlayStation Plus. If you pay $30, you can get this. All right, Dominic. And then the one that really makes me want to buy a PS5, if I could even find one. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Looking great. Sounding great. Seems like it's getting really good reviews.
But we can just stream it so that I can buy a PlayStation.
I would be fine with that too. Give me something. Give me a way to play this. Bring it to the PC like you're doing with all your beloved franchises now, Sony. Making all the Sony fanboys angry. But yeah.
My PC can't play that game.
Not to the quality that a PS5 could. Neither could mine. No. But yeah, that game looks incredible. The reviews I've seen have been really positive about it. People talking about maybe it being the best Ratchet & Clank game, but part of me thinks like you could also kind of just say that with like I don't want to say every game, but like from the PS3 ones on, I feel like every time they released a new one.
I think someone said that's like, look, this is basically the same thing they said of the last Ratchet & Clank game that came on PS4. Like that game it looked beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Yep.
I mean, they just tell you that how good those games are. Really?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I am very excited about that. So maybe one of these days, Dominic, I'll find a way. But until then, I will wipe it out of my mind so I don't even think about it and worry about it. So you got anything else for the week, Dominic?
PS5. Oh, yeah. No, I got nothing else.
Just one to PS5. All right, Dominic. Thank you guys as always for listening. You can check us out on Twitter. Dominic is at DStallworth5. I'm at Regulus MB. The podcast is at Superpod, SUPAPOD. Superpod.com is the website where you can find all the podcasts. as well as links to all the places you can find podcasts, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast with gameplay that is relevant to whatever we were talking about that week usually. And iTunes, of course, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all the places you would want or do download podcasts. Until next week, guys. See you later.
All right, see you.